Hello, my dear students. This is Professor Dr. Kamal Bhattacharya, Professor of English, Faculty of Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences, Motherhood University, Roorkee. This is another episode for you, and in this video, that will be the last video that I was presenting to you on hypothesis. And this episode will be the last one, and today I will discuss about the criteria, in short, sources of hypothesis, and types of research hypothesis. So very short, because I have already discussed these things, especially the sources of hypothesis, criteria of hypothesis. I have already discussed these things in previous week. So today I am going to very briefly discuss about these things. So for recapitulation, for your convenience, so that you can catch up. Okay, so let's begin. As I told you that criteria of hypothesis construction, as you know, you already have a conception about hypothesis, what hypothesis is. So hypothesis is never formulated in form of question paper or question, you know, okay. That already been told, explained by Bailey in 1982, Becker in 1989, Sills in 1976, etc. It should be specific and precise. It should not be vague. It should not be contradictory. You have to look after the criteria, the variables, the values, as far as limited numbers are concerned. You should not go for many variables, and your hypothesis should have some values, some conclusive power, so that you can reach in a particular or specific results that you desire, or you think that you are going to do that. So sources of hypothesis, also a good hypothesis, a good hypothesis, a standard hypothesis can be drawn, can be constructed by dint of, by means of, by virtue of your experience in research. Thought process, logical thought process, as well as analogical reasoning, especially by means of deductive logic. Okay, you can reach in a particular proposition, particular answer. Okay, so though hypothesis should precede the collection of data, reading of good books, standard books, authentic books, okay, but somehow hypothesis is something more humane than academics. Okay, humane, not human. Okay, humane, HUMANE, human, because it is your cognitive domain, your cognitive power, your education, in internal education, your exposure to different angles of the subject with nature, life, and all these things will ultimately enable you to reach in a conclusion about your hypothesis. Okay, so this is what is hypothesis is actually. It depends, good hypothesis depends upon your uh, quality of uh, uh, research, quality of analysis, quality of data interpretation, quality of thinking, and maturity. Okay. So it can be in a different in many ways, like a theoretical framework. Okay. Previous research, whether you have got something in your hands that somebody has previously done some research on it. Okay. Your real life experience, this I have already discussed. Okay. uh, what are the difficulties? The difficulties in hypothesis is these are the difficulties that I am going to discuss. For example, number one is a lack of clean theoretical background. Okay, if you do not have a clean theoretical background, if you do not have studied widely, okay, deeply, okay, uh, so that may trouble you. Lack of logical background, your logic analogical interpretation uh, should be good and sound. Okay. Lack of knowledge of scientific method, scientific theory. So scientific theory means it is related to science. If you are not a science student, then your hypothesis can be depended on your logical thinking, experiment, experience, and all these things. Analogies that I have already discussed, these things, and personal experiences. These are the hindrances that may lead to difficulty. Okay. Now, types of research hypothesis. Okay, that day I also discussing, but due to that paucity of time, I closed it. So, before you are a researcher, before you can begin work on a question that interests you, they need to formulate a research hypothesis. This is an important step in scientific method. Scientific method means it is not involved in science. It is a logical method, chronological order of method, because this will determine the direction of the study. The more you are very pithy, very pointed, very focused, then the more you are closer to hit the bull's eye. Okay. So scientists, those who uh, go for scientific study, uh, need to scrutinize the previous work in the area of um, selective experiment. Selective experiment. If you are going to do something in your research with science stream, science subject, you need to uh, see closely, observe closely the previous uh, scientific researches. Okay. Okay. Simple hypothesis. First, that is a simple hypothesis. Simple hypothesis is that one which there exists relationship between two variables. One is called independent, another is dependent. Independent and dependent, or dependent means you can change it, you can manipulate it according to your need. You can increase it, decrease it. Okay. You can put color, you can change the color, you can change the quantity, all these things. This predicts the relationship between a single independent and a single dependent variable. Single independent and single dependent. It is a simple one. Okay. For example, that I told you that smoking leads to cancer. chewing tobacco leads to uh, dental cancer, tongue cancer, and all these things. Okay. Okay. So complex hypothesis. What is complex hypothesis? You can easily understand that the relation between two or more independent variables and two or more dependent variables. 2 and 2. Earlier it was saying 1 and 1. This 2 dependent, 2 independent. Okay. This is complex. Examples are smoking and other drugs leads to cancer, tension, chest infections, etc. So complexity is increasing. Earlier it was only smoking leads to cancer. Now smoking leads to hypertension, smoking leads to schizophrenia, smoking leads to diabetes. These are complex. Okay. Now, directional hypothesis. Directional hypothesis specifies not only the existence of a relationship between the variables, but also the expected direction of the relationship between the variables. Expected directions. That is, it states the nature of relationship between two or more variables as positive, negative, or no relationship. Positive relationship, negative relationship, or no relationship. To express the direction of a relationship between the variables means the direction terms here mean direction means whether the hypothesis is such a positive, negative, or increased or decreased, higher or lower. This is the direction, not east, west, north, south. Okay. So direction means it is increasing or decreasing, it is growing or not growing. These are the directions. For example, high quality of teacher education will lead to the high quality of teaching skill. Okay. So this is your hypothesis. So if there is or there are high quality teachers, so the education will be high quality. The outcome of the education will be a high quality. Okay. Non-directional hypothesis. In this hypothesis, no direction is measured. Okay. No direction is measured or studied where there is no sufficient past research, because there is no sufficient past research on which to base a prediction. If you do not have that platform, you do not have that source that can lead to you a particular conclusion. So that is called non-directional hypothesis. Okay. It predicts or reflects the relationship between the independent variable and the dependent variable, but it does not specify or anticipate the direction. Okay. It will not anticipate or predict any direction of relationship such as positive, negative. Okay. For example, teacher-student relationship influence students' learning. Teacher-students relationship, if there is a good relationship between teacher and student, then the influence of students' learning will be better. So it is not directional, because you do not know what type of relation. If a relation means whether the teacher is very friendly. Okay. And friendly, what does it mean by friendly by a teacher? So complexity arises. There are a lot of questions that does not support a particular system. Then associative hypothesis. Associative hypothesis predicts an associative relationship. Association means commingle between the variables that occurs or exist in natural setting without manipulation. Okay. Uh, when there is a change in any one of the variables, if one variable changes, changes also occur in the other variable that do not indicate the cause and effect. Why variable A is being changed uh, as soon as you change the variable B, but the relationship, the cause and effect is not stated properly. Okay, the associative relationship between the independent and dependent variables may have either positive or negative association. If you increase A, B will increase. If you decrease A, B will decrease. Okay, so you cannot commingle the two thoughts. And if you decrease it, it may increase, or if you increase it, it may decrease. No, it should be one directional, associative. Okay, then comes causal, causal. Causal means cause. Causal hypothesis predicts a cause and effect relationship or indicate between two or more independent variables and dependent variables. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. So uh, if there is there is no sufficient rain, the water level will will be decreased. Okay, so between the two or more independent variables and dependent variable in experimental or interventional setting. Interventional means one comes into the foray of others. It comes into other things and manipulates and changes and and changes the settings. This hypothesis predicts the effect of the independent variable on the basis of the dependent variable. If you change the dependent variable, the independent variable also change. Okay, independent variable also change. For example, uh, if you put uh, more water, if you put water in tree, into the root of the tree, the two cells like xylem and phloem, they will also work efficiently. They will also work efficiently. So if you if you decrease the putting down of water into the tree, then the work of the xylem and phloem also decrease. So if these xylem and phloem are independent, because you cannot change it. You cannot open a tree and see this is xylem and this is phloem. Okay, but you can change the sources of water. Okay, and comes the null hypothesis. Null hypothesis is also called the statistical hypothesis. That is, null hypothesis is generally conducted in the settings of business background, when a particular cause and effects are not satisfied by the system. That day I discussed these things with you. The external behavior of management of the that leads to the resignation of the teachers. Okay, so this may have another type of settings, that may have another type of research, that may not be, because null hypothesis may not always be satisfactory. Okay, what are the characteristics of hypothesis? Now you have to be it should be remember, note it down in your or you can also listen to it times and again. So the hypothesis is a clear statement of what is intended to be investigated, or what should be the outcome of your research, what might be the outcome, which may be the outcome of your research. It should be specified before the research. Okay, it should be specified before the research. So it should be conceptual clarity, number one. You should have a conceptual clarity. You should have a empirical reference. Empirical reference means high profile teachers, high profile research journals. You should consult. Okay. Objectivity, your objective, you should be objective, you should be focused. Okay. Specificity, you should be specific, you need not to go right and left. Okay. Relevant, your research should be relevant, your research method should be relevant, your research items should be relevant. Okay. Testability, if I want to go for a test, so the research should be available for testing. It should not be something which cannot be tested by human being. Okay. And consistency, you must have a consistency. Simplicity, you must have simple. Simplicity means not in the equation, because the equations are very difficult. For example, the equations of the hydrogen bomb, okay, done by Oppenheimer and his team, is a very difficult thing. So simplicity means the steps. Okay. Simplicity, availability of technique. You should have offer a technique which is available in the market. Okay. And purpose, what is the purpose of your research, how your research is going to help or assist a human being or society. So purposiveness, verification, your data, your references should be verifiable. If you want to go for a verification, it should have be available for the verification. Profound of effects, how your research effect is profound, how it is good and great. Okay. Economical, it should not be very lofty, it should not be very costly at the beginning. Later on it may be. Okay. You should have something which is handy. Okay. So these are the general criteria for hypothesis, and this hypothesis will this is actually the we can say this is the spirit, the soul of research. So your focus, your vision and your mission should be clear. So the moment you are very clear, you are in a crystal clear water, and you are transparent, your work is transparent, then your half work is done. So this is all from my side for today, and this is the hypothesis in all. So I hope this short video of 23 to 25 minutes video will help you to understand research hypothesis. Thank you and have a good day.